hello there, homeschool mama. Today, I'm diving into the wonderfully challenging world of homeschooling multi-age children. Picture this, a home full of laughter, chaos, and much love. While that's a wonderful picture, let's be real. Homeschooling multi-ages can be a whirlwind of emotions and chaos, from the joys of watching your kiddos work peacefully together to screaming and yelling because the toddler smeared their snack on Big Brother's book again. Today, let's dive into some practically applicable tips and tricks for meeting the needs of multi-age kiddos. Hey, homeschool mom, I'm Erica Sagert on the Intentional Homeschooler podcast with more actionable steps and encouragement for your homeschooling journey so you can confidently and intentionally homeschool your children without sacrificing your sanity. Grab a pen and paper, your favorite cup of brew, and let's get started. Whether we feel we can homeschool multiple ages at once or not, most of us need to do it. There are many unique benefits, such as natural mentoring, stronger family relationships, socialization opportunities, and reduced stress. When homeschooling multiple ages, it's important to consider the individual needs and personalities of your children, as well as your own abilities and resources. It's best to involve all the children without pushing anyone away. It can be tempting to push the littles aside so that you can focus on the older children, although it typically backfires. With careful planning, homeschooling multiple ages can be a rewarding experience for your entire family. Let's dive into some practical tips and tricks that you can implement today. First, it's really important to combine lessons or shoot for the middle when you can, as far as curriculum goes. This works especially well for subjects like history, science, art, and music. There's no reason to use a different curriculum for every student. Just shoot for the middle, and then you should be fine. And that way, you're only having to prep one curriculum instead of multiple. Math and reading will probably need some individualized attention, but many curriculums out there, especially homeschool curriculums, have a beginning, average, and advanced adaptation. So, for example, you can add assignments or research for older students while assigning less work to the younger child. So here's a specific example. So I'm going to say student A, student B, and student C. So student A, let's say they're a higher grade reader. That student can read more complex stories with deeper themes, and they will answer higher order thinking questions. And then they can finish a research project related to the topic. So let's talk about your B student, not like grade B, but the next level down from A being the top, the highest level student. So one step down is a middle grade reader, reads a story with clear themes, and he or she answers basic comprehension questions like what are the main characters, what's the main conflict, things like that. Then they would complete a creative writing activity based on the story. So not a research project like student A did, but a creative writing activity based on the story. And then the lower grade student will read a simplified version of the story that has visual aids. They will answer literal questions and complete a drawing activity to represent a scene from the story. So those are just some actual examples of ways you can teach to multi-levels in these adaptable curriculum. They're very helpful. They keep in mind that most families have multiple age children, so there are lots of good ideas in those different curriculums. My second tip for you today is to teach in family style. So what I mean by teaching in family style is to start or end the day together or have one subject as a group each day. So take some time to be together. It'll create lots of relationship building time and just some continuity in your day. at our home, we typically were together for lunchtime, and I have a really fun story of something that they did. My oldest son, Andrew, for a time these were like our golden years of homeschooling where everybody was home. We weren't running around as much. So it's kind of that middle time of our homeschooling years. So what Andrew would do is he would take lunch orders from everyone. He would literally get their drink order, their main dish, and their side dish, and then he would prepare their lunch for them. It is one of those fond memories that every one of my children remembers, and it was like a family style, like it was a part of our day where we were together doing some things together. Because with 4 children, there were obviously parts of our day where we weren't together because the older, more advanced students needed to work on their work and the littles weren't quite ready for that type of work. So definitely do something family time together each day. The third tip that I want to share with you today is to involve older children. So you can have one of your older children in charge of younger children's lessons. That is excellent experience for the older child and helps you be able to have a little break or spend some time on another student. And it's good for your younger student to learn to accept instruction from somebody other than you. So involve those older children. Number 4, use work boxes or workstations, whatever you want to call them, but some sort of activity that's kind of in a box or at a table that's really easy to grab. I personally used lap books a lot for when my girls were preschool and I was teaching the boys their older lessons. And the lap books, it's basically a folder and you get these little mini books or things to color. You cut them out, you color, and you glue them in the folder. We did tons of lap books, and depending on their age, they can be simple or complex. So I will put a link to that in the show notes. They had lots of printables, things that you can just print. So I would keep a box with all of their lap book supplies, scissors, markers, glue, all of those things, so that they could just grab their work box and start working on it. Also, it's a good thing to have some sort of box or container with maybe kinetic sand or Play-Doh, shaving cream for letters. Also, depending on the age of the youngers, you could use the high chair with activities, so that way they are there in their chair. They're not roaming all over the place. That might work for a short time. Also, I always liked to have a little table next to where we were working, or simply have them be at the same table. The closer they are, it just seems to go better. The days when I tried to push them away, it just caused problems. So have those independent activities on hand. You'll be glad you did. One other thing about, it kind of goes in this one, kind of the workstations. If your littles take a nap, that is a really good time to get in some real concentrated time with your older students. I've often heard of the analogy that when you are working with your students one-on-one, it's like orange juice concentrate. So that one-on-one time goes a long ways, and it's concentrated, so it's more valuable. So if the littles are taking a rest, make sure you rest a little bit first and then plug in with those older students if you need to go over something where it needs to be quiet. Number 5, use a block schedule. So plan your day hour by hour, but be flexible with the time stamps. So we need to have a schedule of some kind, even if you don't follow it perfectly. You need to have a schedule, an hour by hour of what the ideal week is, and stick to it as much as you can, but also be flexible within those hours that you have planned. Number 6, chore time. So when you're homeschooling multiple ages, your house looks very lived in, right? We all have different levels of acceptable mess, but nobody likes chaos and cockroaches, right? I think we can agree on that. So learn to clean and do chores together. Use cleaning and cooking as break time. Have a cleaning roster or set of jobs that you can look at and know who is doing what. And everybody does something different. So fit it in as part of your school day. It's part of the deal. It's what needs to happen. You need to straighten up when you're done with your school time or in between breaks or whatever. So there you have it, moms. When teaching multiple ages, number 1, combine curriculum and shoot for the middle when you can. 2, teach in family style. In other words, involve everybody and keep everybody close. Don't be pushing those smaller kiddos away because they seem to be disrupting. Just keep them included and give them something quiet to work on if you need quiet. Number 3, involve older children in the younger children's lessons. So number 1 child can teach number 3 child their reading lesson for the day while you work with a different student. Number 4, use work boxes or workstations, whatever you want to call them, but have some activities ready to go so that those younger students have something to work on independently. Use a block schedule, so hour by hour, do your best to follow it, but also be flexible. Number 6, have a consistent chore time so that things stay straightened up and you can find them and have a clutter-free environment to concentrate on the schooling. Whether you're a seasoned homeschooler or just starting your journey, homeschooling multiple ages can be a rewarding and fulfilling experience. While it does present unique challenges, the benefits are undeniable. From natural mentoring to stronger family bonds and personalized learning, homeschooling multiple ages can offer a truly enriching educational experience for your entire family. If any of this resonates with you, you have further questions, or you want to find out about the work I do at Hope Learning Center, book a virtual coffee chat with me. The link to my calendar is in the show notes. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as right here, where a brand new episode will drop every other Thursday. Until next time, you've got this, Mom.